Hi dear students, today I'm going to talk on concept of curriculum adaptation, accommodation and modification. This is very important topic for the special educators, and all special educator must understand how to adapt the curriculum, the content, the topic when you teach special education need children. So here I'm going to discuss just a concept, just a gist, what does it mean, okay? And in another video I'm going to discuss about the need and how to do the curriculum adaptation, accommodation, modification in three different area of pre-academics, academics and co-curricular activity and in school subjects. But rather we are going to also discuss about the differences of adaptation, accommodation and modification in this video. So let us start adaptation. Curriculum adaptation is ongoing process that modifies and adapt the prescribed program. Yes, the program which you have for the student. Okay, that means modification and adaptations. Okay, the existing program of study to meet the learning requirement of the student with special education need. See, whatever the curriculum you have, they may not able to cope up, so you need to do some sort of modification, you need to do some sort of adaptation for the special education need, so that it enables the teaching team to welcome the learners of all the abilities and ensure that every student is challenged to learn. Okay, so this is why you need to do the curriculum adaptation. And curriculum adaptation, listen properly, curriculum adaptation is a modification to deliver of instructional method and intended goal of students performance that does not change the content. That means whatever the content you have, it is not going to change at all, but slightly change the conceptual difficulty of the curriculum. For example, if it is a double digit addition, so you need to just bring down your double digit addition into the simpler way. Let us say 12 plus 12, it might be very simple to the rather saying 89 plus 89. So you're going to reduce the complexity level of the content in curriculum adaptation. You're not going to change the content will be the same, double digit addition, but rather you're going to change the conceptual difficulty of the curriculum. So adaptation of curriculum is a concept that usually require more teacher effort and time rather than simply changing the instructional methods or strategy or access as in an accommodation. So it's not only your instructional strategy, it's not only your instructional method, it's not just only your accommodation, but also more time, because you need to devote more time so that your student can achieve the target which you have selected. Curriculum accommodation, let us understand what is that. See, any adaptation made to the curriculum. Now understand, see, you have a curriculum in your hand, okay, so you have some content there. Here in accommodation, you're not going to change the content. That means cannot change the course content, rather instruction, learning environment, testing method or testing procedure, but not the course content. Okay, see, some curriculum adaptation do not fundamentally alter, okay, or change or lower down the standard or expectation of that curriculum. That means, see, you'd have heard a curriculum adaptation. Some curriculum adaptation method do not fundamentally alter, that means change or lower down the standard which is already exist, or expectations which is already exist in either instructional or assessment phase. It remains the same throughout the course of study and can be designated as an accommodation. That means you're going to change, you're going to adapt in the instructions, environment, teaching method, testing procedures, okay, but not the content. So you need to remember that. So this accommodation provide access to participate in LRE. LRE is your least restrictive environment and an opportunity to demonstrate the mastery of the content. So you're going to give an opportunity to the child so that they can achieve the target which you have selected for your learning, for your teaching, so which is very important. Accommodating the child, how how you're going to accommodate the child so that the child can learn the objective, so that the child can master the objective, which is very, very important. Okay. Example, see, making an audio version of book available for student who are English language learner, and giving a large printed material for student with disability when they engage in the reading session, focusing on reading comprehension skill, instead of giving a traditional way, which is printed form, which is where there is a small letters where the child don't understand what is written. So teacher can have this student work individually or in a small group to read and assign the book with auditory support as well. So teacher can work independently with the child or even in the small group, so that the child may understand the concept which you have selected by giving some sort of adaptation. That is your accommodation. Move to the curriculum modification. Now, what is curriculum modification? See, curriculum modification is nothing but the adapting or interpreting of school formal curriculum by teacher. Now, see, for example, in the school you have English, mathematics, first grade English, second grade English. So that how you're going to adapt or going to interpret formal curriculum for special education need, and who's going to do? A teacher, a special educator. So in the form of learning objectives, in the form of unit, in the form of content, in the form of topic or activities, so that it can be most reasonable for individual with special education need or a particular group of learner, so that it can be very easy. Now here you need to remember the curriculum modification involve change to a range of educational components in a curriculum, such as a content of knowledge, the method of instructions, student learning outcome, through the change of material and program. Now you just remember, see, I have already said while ago in the curriculum adaptation and curriculum accommodation, you're not going to change the content, but here curriculum modification means you're going to change the components of the curriculum. It might be a content, it might be instruction, it might be a learning outcome, it might be material, it might be a program, it might be a assessment area. All you have to modify for the special need. So curriculum modification is a modified content, instructions or learning outcome for special education needs students. Modification involves not only the content or instructional change, but a variety of educational component as well. This definition was given by Kogo and Hall in 2004. So this you can remember and you can just keep in mind, because this is very important definition and very easy to understand. So whenever anybody says that curriculum modification, you must understand the curriculum modification is nothing but change in the content, modification in the content, instructional learning outcome, in the material program, changing everything for special education need and disability. Now let us difference of adaptation. Now we will compare adaptation and other two things also. See, curriculum adaptation help the student with special education need to participate and achieve a general education by compensating the student's weakness. That is adaptation. Okay, so here it's very clear that curriculum adaptation will help the special need so that they can participate and achieve the general education concepts by understanding the student's weakness. Whereas accommodation. Now what is accommodation? Here accommodation, as I said, alter the environment, not the content. Adaptation also, we are not going to change the content. In accommodation also, we are not going to change the content, rather the environment where the child is sitting. Okay, but not what is taught. That is clearly mentioned. Okay, for example, classroom arrangement for ID children, sign language interpretation for deaf. You are going to change the environment. Accommodation, when you go out and you ask, can I accommodate in a hotel? So you try to accommodate somewhere, a place, environment. Okay, and whereas your modification focus on how the student are evaluated. Okay, the modified curriculum by providing a practical experience, the methods, the modified assignment to meet the needs of the student. So modification is for evaluation, accommodation is for environmental change, and curriculum adaptation is for to help to achieve the general objectives of the society or of the curriculum. That is important. That's why we are saying adaptation, accommodation, and modification. So this is the difference about all three factors, which is very very important, which will help you to understand the needs of adaptation, accommodation, and modification. We are going to see in the next video. I'm going to prepare it soon, then you can understand better, but this you need to understand before you see that. Okay, so I think it's done. Yes, everything is covered fine.